So today we are going to discuss about the membrane lipids and sterols. So when in the last class we discussed about the properties of the lipids, general properties of the lipids, what are the different type of lipids, and then we have taken the a storage lipid, that is triacyl glycerol. Okay, we discussed the structure, the function. Now today we are going to take the membrane lipids and sterol. So the lipids, the triacyl glycerol, they comes under the one category of the lipids, which are basically the storage lipid or the fuel reserve lipids. And now today we are going to discuss about the structural lipids, means the lipids which are the major component of the structure of the biological cell. Okay, so if we talk about the membrane lipids and the esterol, they are basically the lipids which are the major constituent of biological membrane. Okay, so if you remember the structure of the biological membrane that we have taken during the class of cell organelles and cell organelles, so where you have seen that there is basically the bilayer of the lipid. Okay, the bilayer of the lipid, which is the main structural backbone of the membrane of a biological cell or the system. Okay, so today we are going to discuss those membrane lipids as well as the sterol. Here the sterol are structural as well as functional properties. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the structural sterol, the functional lipids and the functional sterol we are going to take in the next class. Okay, so here first we will see what are the different type of membrane lipids. Okay, so there are basically three categories of the membrane lipids: the phospholipid, the glycolipid, and the archibacterial ether lipids. If we talk about the lipid, basically in the lipid the fatty acid is attached with the glycerol via which bond? Anyone can tell me? Anyone?
Like
What? The fatty acid attached with the glycerol via which bond?
Diester bond.
What? That is the ester bond. Okay, what? So the whatever the lipids which whether it's the diacyl glycerol or the membrane lipids, the phospholipids of the glycolipids, all these lipids have the ester bonds between the fatty acid and the glycerol or the alcohol backbone. Okay, but there is another category of a lipid which is very common in the archibacterial membrane. Okay, biological membrane, where they form the ether linkage, not the ester linkage. Okay, in the archibacteria, this membrane lipid, they have the ether linkage between the glycerol and the fatty acid, and all other membrane lipids which are very common in the eukaryotes, okay, in plants, animals, prokaryotes, that are basically the ester lipids. Okay, so the membrane lipids are of, if we talk about the, if we categorize them on the basis of the linkage, they are basically of two types: the ester lipids and the ether lipids. So ether lipids are the part of the archibacterial membrane. Okay, and these ester lipids are basically all the lipids which are present in the membrane have the ester linkage, as well as the other lipids like glycerol. Means the archibacterial cell wall lipid is the exception which have the ether lipids. Otherwise all those lipids, whether it is a storage lipids or the membrane lipid or the functional lipids, they have the ester bonds. Okay, so the membrane lipids, they are divided basically into three major categories: the phospholipid, the glycolipid, and the archibacterial ether lipids. Okay, so the phospholipid is further divided into the glycerophospholipid and sphingolipid, and glycolipid is also further divided into the sphingolipid and galactolipids. Here you see in the phospholipid also I have written sphingolipid, as well as in the glycolipid I also use this sphingolipid. So if I'm talking about this sphingolipid, which is comes under the category of phospholipid, that is basically a sphingolipid that have a phosphate group. Okay, and if I'm talking about the sphingolipid, which is comes under the category of glycolipid, is basically a sphingolipid which have carbohydrate moiety. Okay, so today we will take all these categories and subcategories. So first we will discuss about the phospholipid. So as the name suggests, phospholipid. So this is lipid is so phospholipid is a molecule which is have a water soluble or polar head and fat soluble or a non-polar tail. Okay, as the name suggests, phospholipid, it contains phosphorus, okay, or the phosphate group, and phospholipids are the major component of the cell membrane, and this phospholipid also serve as a emulsifier. The bile juice, okay, which is the bile juice of gallbladder, okay, it is actually contain a large amount of phospholipid where this help as a emulsifier. Okay, so we'll see what is the typical character of the phospholipid. So the phospholipid have a as I have told, this is a lipid which have a phosphate group. So this have a glycerol backbone. This is the long chain fatty acid 1 and 2, and the third OH group is attached with the phosphate bond. Okay, and then this phosphate is attached, linked with the another alcohol. If suppose if I'm telling a lipid which have a phosphate group is a phospholipid. To be classified as a phospholipid, this phosphate group always be modified with some alcohol. Okay, so here it is, this phosphate group has a choline group. So this is basically phosphatidyl choline. Okay, so this is a typical structure of the phospholipid. Here you see, this is the glycerol backbone. Here is the fatty acid 1. This is the fatty acid 2. And in the third carbon of the glycerol, there is a one phosphate group and one choline, okay, alcohol. So this is a typical structure of the phosphatidyl choline or the phospholipid. Okay, then see, as I have if you in here what we have seen, uh, these phospholipids have two category. They are divided, they are of two types. Okay, they are divided into two classes. One is the glycerophospholipid and another one is the sphingolipid. So first we are going to take the glycerophospholipid. Okay, so glycerophospholipids are the main class of the phospholipids, and they are the main lipid component of the biological or the cell membrane. Okay, so here is a typical structure: a glycerol backbone, two fatty acid, one phosphate group, and one amyl alcohol. Okay, so this is the non-polar tail, the fatty acid group. This is glycerol backbone. This is phosphate. This is the polar head. Okay, now these are some of the example of the glycerophospholipid. Okay, so this is a typical general structure of the glycerophospholipid, which have two fatty acid. This is glycerol backbone, one phosphate, and this X have a different head groups. Okay, if at this position if there is a H, then it is known as a phosphatidic acid. If the head group is ethanol amine, it is known as a phosphatidyl ethanol amine. If this head group have a choline, it will be known as a phosphatidyl choline. If it X is a serine, then it is phosphatidyl serine, and if X is a glycerol, it is a phosphatidyl glycerol. So basically, in the glycerophospholipid, this head group is a alcohol. Okay, majority of the cases it is a amino alcohol. Okay, so like ethanolamine, choline, and serine. Okay, so these are some of the typical example of glycerophospholipid. Then lecithin and cephalin. Okay, so basically the glycerophospholipids are also classified based on the amino alcohol group. If this amino alcohol group which is attached to the phosphate is a choline, then they are known as lecithin. And if this amino alcohol group is a ethanolamine which is attached to the phosphate, this is known as a cephalin. Okay, so this lecithin and cephalin are abundant in the brain and nerve tissue, and we also found in the egg yolk, wheat germ, and yeast. So now the another category is a sphingolipid. Okay, So as I have told in that chart where we have we have the classification of the membrane lipid. The sphingolipid is a part of both the phospholipid as well as the glycolipid. So if the sphingolipid have a phosphate group, it is known as a phosphosphingolipid. If a sphingolipid have a oligosaccharide moiety, it is known as a glycosphingolipid. So here we are going to study the sphingolipid in the category of phospholipids. So first we will take the phosphosphingolipid, followed by the glycosphingolipid. Okay, so sphingolipids are the membrane lipids which have a polar head group and two non-polar tail. Okay, but unlike glycerophospholipid or the galactolipids, they contain no glycerol. Means when we have seen the structure of the triacyl glycerol or the glycerophospholipid, what we have seen on the glycerol backbone, there is a fatty acid is attached or the phosphate or the functional group is attached. Okay, in triacyl glycerol, on the glycerol backbone, there is a 3 fatty acid attached. In the glycerophospholipid, what we have seen in the glycerol backbone, 2 fatty acid is attached. On the third group, there is a phosphate as well as the amino alcohol. Okay, but in the sphingolipid, this glycerol is replaced by the long chain amino alcohol which is known as a sphingosine. Okay, so means the it contains no glycerol. The glycerol is replaced by a long chain amino alcohol is sphingosine. That's why it is known as a sphingolipid. Okay, so this sphingolipid have a long chain amino alcohol is sphingosine. Okay, one long chain fatty acid and a one polar head group. That is, if it is joined with the or means carbohydrate moiety, then it forms the glycosidic linkage, and if it is joined with the phosphate, it forms the phosphodiester bond. Okay, means when it is a phospholipid, it forms the phosphodiester bond with the polar head group, and if it is a glycosphingolipid, then it forms the glycosidic linkage with the carbohydrate moiety. Okay, so first we will see the 3 different classes of the sphingolipids. So they are basically 3 different class. One is the sphingomyelin, followed by the glycolipids, neutral glycolipids and charged glycolipids. Okay, so the neutral glycolipids are cerebrosides and globosides, and the charged glycolipids are known as gangliosides. So we will take all these sphingomyelin, glycolipid, means cerebroside as well as the ganglioside. So up to here it is clear to everyone? Yes or no? Or should I repeat something which is not clear? Anyone?
Ma'am, something about cephalin.
Something about
Cephalin.
cephalin. Okay. Basically, I have told about the glycerophospholipid. Okay, so these both, the lecithin and cephalin, they both are the glycerophospholipids. Okay, they both have the glycerol backbone. They both have 2 long chain fatty acid. They both have a phosphate group, and they both have a amino alcohol attached with the phosphate by the phosphodiester bond. Okay, but the difference between the lecithin and cephalin is that the lecithin have the choline as a amino alcohol group, and cephalin has a ethanol amino alcohol group. Okay, so basically they both are the phosphoglycerolipid. If the amino alcohol group is choline, it is known as a lecithin, and if the amino alcohol group is a ethanol amine, then it is known as cephalin. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now we will take these 3 subclasses of sphingolipid: sphingomyelin, neutral glycolipids and charged glycolipids. So first we will talk about, yes,
What is ceramide?
what?
In previous slide ये ceramide लिखा हुआ है इसके पहले वाला
What? Which slide you are talking about? What
Yes,
is
ma'am. आगे वाला.
Shilpi, listen, you are audible. Can you please inbox me whatever you want in the chat? You're not audible to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Whatever you just want to know, just write in the chat box. What happened, Shilpi?
मैम अभी जो स्लाइड शो कर रहे थे उसमें दिया होगा ना डेरिवेटिव्स ऑफ सेरामाइड प्लस 4. यस मैम. तो सेरामाइड क्या होता है?
Okay, we'll see when we are. I'm just coming to that. Okay, this is sphingolipids. When I will talk, we'll see what is ceramide. Okay, so we will see. Okay, first we will see this, then I'll tell you what is ceramide. Okay, so the sphingomyelin has, as I have known, this is a sphingolipid. Why it is a sphingolipid? Because it have this sphingosine in place of glycerol. Okay, it has sphingosine in place of glycerol. So this is this black color structure. Okay, whatever which is written in the black color is a structure of the sphingosine. This is basically an amino alcohol. This blue one is the fatty acid, and this red one is the phosphocholine. Okay, so the sphingomyelin is basically the common constituent of the plasma membrane, and if the amino alcohol group which is attached to the phosphate is a phosphocholine, okay, then it is known as a sphingomyelin. Okay, just see here. As I have told, this is sphingolipid. Okay, the sphingolipids, I'm talking about the journal structure. If this X is nothing but a H, okay, so this journal structure is basically a ceramide. This is ceramide. If this X is a H here, then this is known as a ceramide. Okay, so if this X is replaced by different groups, okay, then it gives a different name: sphingomyelin, ganglioside, cerebroside, globocytes. Okay, so when in the sphingosine backbone or the sphingolipid backbone, if this head group is H only, okay, then it is known as a ceramide. Okay, and if this X or the head group is phosphocholine, then it is known as a sphingomyelin. Okay, so this is one of the major constituent of the plasma membrane as a sphingolipid. Okay, here what we have seen, it has if this phosphocholine is attached to it, it have phosphate group as well as the choline. Okay, so this is the sphingomyelin. Then another one is the, I have told the sphingolipids have three categories. One is the sphingomyelin, which we have seen if the ceramide structure have phosphocholine as a head group. Okay, then it is known as a sphingomyelin. And if this if this sphingolipid have carbohydrate moieties, if it is attached with one or a more monosaccharide groups by the glycosidic linkage, okay, to the sphingosine. If the sphingosine have one it is attached with the fatty acid and another it is attached with the carbohydrate moiety, then it is known as the glycolipids. Okay, when we have the class of the carbohydrates, that time we also discuss about the glycolipids. Now the glycolipids are basically which have the carbohydrate moieties. So here the glycosphingolipid is basically a sphingolipid which is attached with one or more monosaccharide unit or the sugar unit. So here this is basically the general structure of the sphingolipid, which have this pink color is sphingosine, this yellow color is a fatty acid, and this blue is a X group. If it is attached with If this X group is glucose, then this is known as a neutral glycolipase, glucosyl cerebroside. So this is basically cerebroside. Or if this X is replaced by di, tri or tetrasaccharide, like this is a disaccharide, okay, then this is basically glucose and galactose, which is the disaccharide lactose, okay. So lactosyl ceramide, or this, so these two, this is the example of the cerebroside and this is the example of the globoside. Both sphingolipids are basically a lipid which have the sphingosine backbone, one fatty acid, and the head group is replaced by a carbohydrate moiety which is attached to the OH of the sphingosine through the glycosidic linkage. Okay, if it is a glucose, then it is known as the glucosyl cerebroside. If it is di-tetrasaccharide, then it is a globoside. Okay, they both are neutral, they doesn't have any charge. Okay, because glucose or there is a disaccharide lactose doesn't have any charge, so this is basically a neutral sphingolipid. So these are some of the other examples of the ceramides. Like this, glycosphingolipids are the act as a determinant of blood group. Okay, you must have heard about the blood group like A, B, O, or AB, is it? So if this is basically based on the determinant which is present on the glycosphingolipid. Okay, if it have this oligosaccharide, this type of oligoside structure, then it is the specific to O antigen. This structure is specific to A antigen, and this is specific to B antigen. So these glycosphingolipids are also serve as a determinant of blood type. Okay. So now the third category of the sphingolipid is a ganglioside. When we have talked about the glycolipid like cerebroside or globosides, they both have the oligosaccharides or the glucose moiety. Okay, here ganglioside also have the oligosaccharide moieties, but the difference between the ganglioside and the cerebroside or globoside is that the cerebroside and globosides, they both are actually the neutral glycosphingolipids, but the ganglioside, it is the complex sphingolipid and it have the charge. Now how it have a negative charge? Because it have oligosaccharide as their polar head group, but it has also have one or more residue of N-acetyluramic acid, which is also known as sialic acid. Okay, so it means this ganglioside have they are also sphingolipids because they have the sphingosine backbone, they have the saccharide moieties, oligosaccharide or the sugar moieties, but they have N-acetyluramic acid or the sialic acid in addition to all those, and this presence of the sialic acid gives the negative charge to the molecule. Okay, that's why the gangliosides are structurally different and complex as compared to the cerebrosides or globoside, or we can say that they are the charged glycosphingolipids, and cerebrosides and globosides are neutral glycosphingolipids. Is not up to here, is it clear? It is clear to everyone? Is it clear? All this clear to everyone? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now this is the structure of the ganglioside. You just see here in this head group have oligosaccharide like glucose, galactose, N-acetyl galactose, and it also have sialic acid. Okay, so this is the structure of the ganglioside. Now the galactolipids. This is also a major group of membrane lipid, and it is specific to the plant cell. Okay, the galactolipids are basically the lipids or the glycolipid. Galactose is what? Galactose is a galactose is what? Is a sugar, no? Galactose is what? A sugar, a carbohydrate. Okay, so the galactolipids are basically the glycolipids. Okay, they are glycolipids because these are the lipids which have the saccharide group. So galactolipids are very predominant in the plant cell, okay, where one or two galactose residues is connected to the diacylglycerol, okay, by the glycosidic linkage. Okay, they are localized in the thylakoid membrane of the chloroplast, and they make up to 70 to 80% of the total membrane lipids of the vascular plant or the higher plant. And they are also probably the most abundant membrane lipid in the earth or the biosphere. Okay, so this is a typical example of the galactolipid. This is the monogalactosyl diacylglycerol. This is the fatty acid chain. This is another fatty acid chain. This is the glycerol backbone. One OH is attached with the fatty acid 1, another is attached with the fatty acid 2, and the third one is attached with the 1 galactose. Okay, so this is the monogalactosyl diacylglycerol, and here is another where this third OH of the glycerol backbone is attached with the 2 galactose moiety. That's why it is known as digalactosyl diacylglycerol. Okay, so these are the typical examples of the galactosides which are very dominant in the plant cell, particularly in the thylakoid membrane of the chloroplast. Okay, now the sulfolipids are basically a class of galactolipids where they also have one sulfonated group. Okay, here you can see that this is the glycerol backbone, fatty acid 1, fatty acid 2, this is the glucose, and one which is have sulfate group. Okay, so sulfolipids are basically the glycolipid which have the sulfonated saccharide moiety. Okay, now it is clear to everyone. This phospholipids and glycolipid is clear to all, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here we again see the chart. As I have told, the membrane lipids, they are polar, means they have charged, they have charged head. Okay, and means they have they are polar, means they have charged head, or we can say that they have both the hydrophobic as well as the hydrophilic groups or the moieties. So these membrane lipids are basically of 3 types: the phospholipid, the glycolipids, and the archibacterial ether lipids. So phospholipid, which is divided into two classes, the glycerophospholipid and the sphingolipid. In the glycerophospholipid, it has a glycerol backbone which have 2 fatty acid group, 1 phosphate, and any alcohol. It may be ethanolamine, it may be choline, it may be serine, it may be inositidol. Okay, and then another is the sphingolipid, or we can also say that the phosphosphingolipid. Okay, so if it is here the glycerol backbone is replaced by the sphingosine. So it have a sphingosine backbone, 1 fatty acid and 1 phosphate, and the choline. Okay, so this is basically the typical structure of the sphingomyelin. Okay, then as I have told, sphingolipids are of 2 types: the phosphosphingolipid and the glycosphingolipid. So here the glycolipids are the lipids which have the carbohydrate moiety. So they are further divided into 2 groups: the sphingolipids and the galactolipids. So in the sphingolipids, they have a sphingo backbone, 1 fatty acid, or mono or oligosaccharide. If this is phosphate choline, then it is sphingomyelin. If it is the mono or oligosaccharides, then it may be known as a cerebroside or the globoside or ganglioside. Okay, cerebroside and globosides are neutral one, and the gangliosides are charged one. Okay, the cerebro and ganglio have means carbohydrate mono the oligosaccharide moieties, but the ganglioside also have an additional sialic group, okay, or an acetylmuramic acid. Now the galactolipid, this is also a glycolipid because galactose is a sugar. Okay, so the galactolipid, if it is it have basically only mono or the disaccharide, then it is known as the galactolipid. If this galactolipid also have the sulfonation at, okay, then it is known as a sulfolipid. Then there is another category of the membrane lipid which is found, which is specific to the membrane of the archaebacteria, where they have the ether linkage. Okay, the attachment of this fatty acid to the glycerol is not by the ester bond, okay, but it is by the ether bond. So this is about the different type of membrane lipids. Now it is clear to everyone. If anyone have any question, please ask. Is clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we will take another molecule which is also comes under the category of the structural lipid. Okay, now they are basically sterols. Okay, so sterols are the structural lipids which are present in the membrane of most of the eukaryotic cells. Okay, now what is the typical characteristic of this sterol? These sterol have one polar head group. Okay, one steroid nucleus. Okay, and a long carbon chain. Okay, so this is a typical, this is basically the structure of the cholesterol. Okay, so the esterol, which is a structural lipid, which is also the constituent of the majority of the membrane of the eukaryotic cell, it have one polar group, one steroid nucleus, and a one long chain, one long alkyl side chain. Okay, so the typical example is the cholesterol. Cholesterol is the major sterol in the animal tissue, and it is also amphipathic in nature, means it has a polar head group, OH group, and the non-polar hydrocarbon body, which includes both this steroid nucleus as well as this hydrocarbon side chain. Okay, so this cholesterol is a sterol which is found in the animal tissue or the membrane of the animal cell. The similar sterols are also found in the other eukaryotes, like the stigmasterol in the plants and the ergosterol in the fungi. Okay, so this is about the membrane lipids, the typical membrane lipids. One is we have talked about the phospholipids, glycolipids, ether lipids, and the sterols. Okay, so this was about today's class.